Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 17, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Akron versus Tennessee. The Akron Zips travel to Knoxville on Saturday to face the Tennessee Volunteers in what will almost certainly be a lopsided Vols victory. The question in this game is the point spread, and 47.5 is a big number, trailing only Alabama's as the largest on the Saturday slate. Can the high-powered Vols cover? Much of the answer to this question comes down to the health of Akron quarterback DJ Irons. Irons, who has played well so far despite 2 losses, left Saturday's game at Michigan State with what appeared to be a significant leg injury. Currently he is listed as questionable, and there is some hope he can lead the Zips on Saturday. If he does, they stand a good chance of finding the end zone a time or two, something they failed to do against the Spartans. Meanwhile, Tennessee upended Pittsburgh on the road last week in overtime. Despite the win, there was some dissatisfaction with the offense on the day. Granted, the Vols did not feel the need to push the ball down the field once Pittsburgh was down to its backup QB, who was himself limping severely. Still, the Pitt defense was able to bottle up the Vols as effectively as any have in the Josh Heupel era. The Vols may well be out to re-establish their offensive authority this weekend against a likely overwhelmed opponent. Still, 47.5 is a lot of points, and not much has to go wrong for the Vols to win big and still fail to cover. I feel better about Akron covering if Irons plays, but even if not, a week of prepping a new QB should help, and so should the experience of playing a top 15 Michigan State team. Akron will likely get overrun again, but it's hard to cover 47.5, so take the points. The more confident bet in this game is the over on the points. The Vols have gone over in 8 of their last 9 games since Josh Heupel's offense took root in the middle of last season. They failed to go over the total last week at Pittsburgh, but there was a clear reason for that as Pittsburgh lost their starting QB at halftime and both teams began to play a more ball control style of game. They were on pace for 80+ at halftime, and then both teams just stopped scoring. Even overtime was not enough to reach the total. That is an anomaly. Sure, we could have a second straight anomaly, but if we are betting on likely outcomes, the over is the bet. Akron might be missing their starting quarterback, DJ Irons. If Irons is ruled healthy, this number might even scoot up a little. Irons certainly makes this bet more comfortable. Even without him, the Zips should be able to score. New coach Joe Moorhead is building his team around a fast-paced offense, and even though the Zips cannot match the pace of the fastest offense in the country, fast is still fast, and it usually means points for everyone. Only 3 games on the slate opened with a higher line than this. To get there, we need it to not be the Vols doing all the work though. Our total pick is over 67 points. SMU versus Maryland. SMU may be a group of 5 team traveling on the road to a Power 5 stadium, but the Mustangs' offense is legit with a very good quarterback in senior Tanner Mordecai. Mordecai started his college career at Oklahoma before transferring to SMU after the 2020 season. In his first season as a starting college quarterback, he threw for 3,628 yards and 39 touchdowns, with a completion percentage of 67.8% and 12 interceptions. Now back for another season with the Mustangs, Mordecai has already thrown for close to 650 yards with 7 touchdowns and just 1 interception. His main beneficiary is wide receiver Rashee Rice, who has recorded 17 receptions for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns through 2 games. Maryland's secondary showed vulnerability against Charlotte's backup quarterback last week, and the Terrapin defense as a whole has yet to force a turnover, so Mordecai should be able to put pressure on the Terrapins on Saturday night. Taulia Tagovailoa is a very good quarterback for Maryland that has improved every year in terms of completion percentage and interception rate since transferring out of Alabama. He will likely lead the Terrapins to multiple scoring drives in this game, but SMU should have enough defensively to limit the Maryland scoring and keep this game close. The SMU defense returns most of its production from a unit that was good up front last season, recording 27 sacks and ranking top 40 in opposing rushing yards per game and rushing yards per attempt. However, the pass defense was lacking. In an attempt to fix the leaky secondary, SMU brought in multiple transfers, as well as a new defensive coordinator, Scott Simmons, who deploys a formation with an extra defensive back. The use of an additional defensive back should make SMU better against a pass, while forcing more turnovers. The Mustangs match up well with the Terrapins on paper and are very capable of going into College Park and stealing a win under the lights. For what it is worth, Mordecai has already shown the ability to lead SMU to victory on the road against a Power 5 opponent when he overcame 3 interceptions at TCU last year in a 42-34 Mustang win. Furthermore, the Terrapins have shown a tendency to hurt themselves through 2 games as they rank outside the top 80 in penalties per game and penalty yards per game. Take SMU on the money line. Opening around 68.5 and since ballooning to around 73.5. This is an extremely high total that has gotten even higher as the week has progressed. It makes sense, as both offenses have very good quarterbacks and offensive systems, while the defenses left a lot to be desired last season, especially in the secondary. However, I cannot help but think the line move is a bit too much at this point. Maryland's tempo has gone down this season, as the Terrapins rank 111th in plays per game, compared to 38th in 2021. SMU is playing slower as well, ranking outside the top 90 in plays per game, compared to being ranked 25th last year. The decrease in tempo could very well be because of the level of opponents these teams have faced, but it is worth consideration at the very least. When betting an over on a total so high, you are betting that most of these drives end with scores. Considering this game is a step up in class for both programs, it would not surprise me to see either one of these offenses struggle early. At the current number, the under is the recommended play. Our total pick is under 73.5 points. UTSA vs Texas. This game looks like a trap game for bettors. When we look at the matchup, we see a little-known Conference USA team traveling to Austin, where the mighty Crimson Tide struggled to survive just a week ago. Surely the Longhorns, coming off that momentum and experience, will pound the Roadrunners. Early bettors are suspicious, as this line has already moved down from where it opened at -13.5. Texas made a proud showing last week against Alabama. It would be hard to be more excited about a loss than Longhorn fans were last week when odds makers left them as 3-TT underdogs. Texas did a lot of good things, not the least of which was to bottle up and baffle the Tide's offense. Alabama looked lost until the final drive of the game. The game exacted a cost from the Longhorns, though as starting QB Quinn Ewers was lost for a few weeks and several other key players left banged up. At the time of writing, presumptive starting QB Hudson Card is day-to-day with an ankle injury that he gutted out last week. Star RB Bijan Robinson has not been practicing, but tweeted that he plans to play, and senior corner Sean Jamison also left the Alabama game with an ankle injury. Any of those would be tough losses for this Texas team. UTSA, for what it is worth, can play some serious football. They are the favorites to win Conference USA, and they have opened with hard-fought overtime games against Houston and Army, splitting the pair. Last week against a better-than-you-think Army team, Super Senior Frank Harris posted over 350 yards passing and 3 TDs. He has star receivers in Zachary Franklin and Joshua Cephas. Franklin posted a 10-122-2 line against Army after a 100-yard effort against Houston, while Cephas has also posted back-to-back 100-yard outings to open the season. UTSA is not the kind of team that is likely to get blown out. The Longhorns do not want to walk away with another almost win, and they will be playing inspired football. But between the injuries Texas is dealing with and the general competence of the Roadrunners, UTSA can keep this one close. Our team pick is UTSA plus 12.5 points. This is a large number, befitting of two teams that like to play offense. A couple of those drives ending in FGs should be enough to suppress the number for the under. Our total pick is under 60.5 points.